Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is the 12th day of March. It is currently 10:10 a.m. AST here in St. Lucia. And my name is Michelle Samuel. I am the founder and president of Sledterra, which is the host of the Entrepreneurship World Cup in St. Lucia. And this is what we're going to be discussing for today. In terms of my capacity in the competition, I am the country director, and this is my second year assuming this role in running this competition. I have two members of my team from Sledterra who I will briefly ask to unmute themselves and then give further introduction. I have Miss Lisa Yarde here, who has been with Sledterra since 2019, and she is the first country co-director under EWC, and this is her second year joining me in this initiative. Lisa, can you please go ahead and give a full introduction of yourself?
Hi, good morning, everybody. As Michelle indicated, in my position, I'm also the Vice President of Sledterra and also the Project Manager for Startup of St. Lucia. I'm also the founder and Managing Director of my own business called Liz Value. I hope that whatever that's been discussed today will be more fruitful than usual, and I wish everybody the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Secondly, we have Mylica Amedee on board with us. This is her first year joining us on the team, but she is a member of Sledterra. She is the second country co-director on the Entrepreneurship World Cup for this year. And I am very grateful to have Mylica with us. She has been involved in many of Sledterra's programs, and that is one of the perks, I should say, of being a member of Sledterra, in that you get to be involved in a number of our activities and programs and initiatives, and this is just being one of them. Mylica, go ahead and give a full introduction of who you are and the business that you run.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mylica Amedee. I'm the second country coordinator. I currently own a small business restaurant called Melly's Mix Up. I'm happy to be here today.
All right, thank you very much, Mylica. I want to thank Mylica for joining us because she's a very busy lady. She's actually on the job right now as we are in the meeting, and I want to to show appreciation that she's able to join us even while working and serving her customers. Then thirdly, we have Sharine Joseph. Sharine joined us a few weeks ago, and she was handpicked by me because of her performance in one of the projects that I have been running here, which is the Dream to Reality Professional Business Training course. That's actually the pilot to the All St. Lucia program, which has been launched this year. Through that initiative last year, I saw a lot of potential in Sharine and in the business that she runs. And this year, because of what our mandate is going to be through EWC, that is why I reached out to Sharine and selected her for the role that she currently plays. So I will allow Sharine to let you know what her role is, the business that she runs, and to give a full introduction. Sharine.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Sharine Joseph. I am the founder of Blue Media Marketing. Also, I am the marketing and communications coordinator for EWC St. Lucia.
Okay, thank you so very much, Sharine. And finally, we have our guest joining us this morning. His name is Dinesh, and he is the program coordinator for Boost St. Lucia, which is an initiative by Invest St. Lucia. I asked Dinesh to join us this morning because we have an interest in coordinating and partnering with Boost so that we can implement EWC this year. This is the first year I would say that Boost is really being asked to coordinate with us on EWC. Last year, we had Dave Headley with us through Invest in Lucia. That was prior to the launch of Boost, and we had a wonderful experience with Invest in Lucia and their support of the initiative, and we are hoping that we can continue this business relationship, this professional business relationship, through to 2021. Since Dinesh has taken over Boost since the launch, he is the one who is going to be basically speaking on behalf of Boost, which is why he is here and not Dave. So Dinesh, I would allow you to give a brief introduction of yourself and the role you play in Boost and Invest in Lucia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dinesh Daswani. I am the program coordinator for Boost, which is a virtual incubator and accelerator program that was launched last year, September. I'm also the program coordinator for Invest in Lucia, so any other programs that we run, I'm pretty much involved in them, which would include, if possible, the Entrepreneurship World Cup. Good morning again.
Okay, thank you so very much, Dinesh. And I want to say an extra special thank you for being able to join us even after your ordeal yesterday. I'm hoping that it wasn't too much of a harrowing experience for you.
There's no side effects yet, so I'm so hopeful.
Okay, all right. So let's just be positive on that. All right, and of course, finally, Michelle Samuel, as I stated earlier. So we are here this morning to discuss Entrepreneurship World Cup St. Lucia. And the Entrepreneurship World Cup St. Lucia, Dinesh, I'm not sure whether you have done any research on it prior to being in this meeting. It is basically dubbed as the biggest pitch competition in the world. It was developed in 2019, and the inaugural Entrepreneurship World Cup took place in Bahrain in April, and that was where it all began. There was a live showing of the event to basically demonstrate to persons who were interested in hosting the competition in the individual countries as to what it should and would look like. So the Entrepreneurship World Cup is a program that empowers entrepreneurs at all levels. So we're looking at idea stage, early stage, and scale up to 7 years in existence. So that's with that introduction, you automatically get to know what at least one of the items in the criteria, in that anybody can at any stage, but any business that is applying must not be over 7 years in existence or in operation. So it combines a massive pitch competition with access to a global platform with virtual training resources, targeted mentoring, valuable perks being offered by the EWC partners, the global partners, and potential investment and life-changing prizes. Now, Entrepreneurship World Cup is a product of the Global Entrepreneurship Network and the MISC Global Forum. They signed this agreement again in 2019. And also on board with them is the Global Education and Leadership Foundation. And they have the support of a collection of entrepreneurial organizations and strategic partners who are the ones responsible for providing the perks that the applicants will be receiving on the EWC platform. So for EWC 2021 this year, persons are looking at prizes, or should I say, well, a share at prices of over $1 million, and that's at the global stage. That is EWC Global Finals. And the global finals will be held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in November 2021. Only the top 100 startups will be flown to Riyadh to compete in the global finals. In addition to that share of $1 million in prizes, we also have 750,000 US dollars in in-kind support services from the partners. and automatic entry for, of course, the finalists into the Gen Starters Club, with access to a network of promising founders and, of course, additional perks as well. Now, at the global level, there are various cash prizes. So the grand prize is 500,000, second prize is 250,000, and third prize 100,000. For the idea stage, and that is completely separate from the grand prizes that I just mentioned. For the idea stage winner, it is US 50,000, early stage 50,000, and growth stage 50,000. And this year, 2021, the application process is already open, and that is at the global level. So the way it actually works is that EWC Global launches the opening of the application, and then we, as in the national organizers or the national hosts, would announce that the application process is open. It does not need to coincide with our official launch here, which is why we have not had an official launch, but we are promoting that the applications are open, because all the applications go through EWC Global. Everybody on the same page with me so far?
Yes.
Awesome. So right now, anybody and everybody who is eligible for the application or who is aware of the application process can apply. And they apply by going to entrepreneurshipworldcup.com. That is where all applicants need to be directed to, the global website. After the applications have been put through there, then of course it will be filtered through or sifted through to the various national hosts. And for St. Lucia, that would be to Slatera on the online platform. And that is where the work really begins. So the last time I checked, persons have started applying, so the applications can actually be viewed at the managerial level. So what we are looking for at this point is, during this process of accepting applications, we are now working on the intricate details of the structure of EWC this year. Now, last year when we held the competition, we held 2 pitch competitions. We did a preliminary and we did a national finals. But leading up to that, we had it into a basic timeline and a selection process. So what we did in the selection process, we had screening. That was the first phase of the competition. And that is where an internal jury would basically assess all applications that are put through onto the system. At this point, every application would be there, whether it be complete or incomplete. So the screening judges would then assess the applications, of course, only those that are complete, and then assess them based on the 4 Ps. And those 4 Ps will help them to determine whether they meet the criteria, and also the basic criteria for entry. So that is, for the idea stage, persons can be below the age of 18. So we are looking at the young persons, potentially students. That is the only category where they are eligible to enter the competition under the idea stage. Then we have the early stage and the growth stage. So the early and growth stage persons must be 18 years of age or over to participate. And their businesses must not exceed 7 years in operation. So that is the basic minimum criteria. In terms of teams, the competition is open to teams of persons. It's not really I would say ideal for individuals. However, if persons are looking to take part in the competition, we're not saying that they cannot participate, but we highly recommend that they enter as teams, especially in the case where one individual is not very keen to doing public speaking or pitching. They need to ensure that somebody on their team is able to do that on their behalf. So having more than one person is highly recommended. So the screening is usually done for a period of 2 weeks. And then after persons have gone through screening, we would then notify them and say, hey, you've made it through to the first stage. Now, last year, what we did, we selected the top 10. And that was widely publicized as to who the top 10 were. But this year we're doing it a little differently in that we're choosing 12 instead of 10. Okay, so we're increasing the numbers this year. After of course, the screening and round one evaluations, the judges will then take over and start the online process. So the judges are in the background assessing applications after they have passed through screening, and they can do this at their own convenience. They don't need any particular prompt from us per se. They will be automatically notified via email when the applications are sent to them. Okay, and that is done randomly based on the number of judges that are there. We are looking to have the same number of judges we had last year. We had 5, and we're looking to have 5 again this year. We want to basically have it as diverse as possible and to mix up the group. So we're looking for 3 men and 2 women. Last year we only had 1 lady, but this year we want to have 2 ladies on the team and 3 men. Also, the other change that is going to happen this year is that instead of just having preliminaries and finals, we would like to have a 5-day summit. And that has more moving parts. It has a lot more components to it. And of course, I will be at a later date explaining more what that structure looks like. My team is already familiar with what the structure is, but Dinesh, just for your benefit, I'm letting you know that that is the change from last year to this year. So in a sense, this is a first still, for Invest in Lucia, if it in case will be partnering with us. So it's going to be a 5-day summit, and that will be comprising of live Q&As, pre-recorded interviews that will be played at strategic times, and also the pitch competitions. So during that 5-day period, we're going to have the preliminaries on the 2nd day, and we're going to have the national finals on the 4th day, with the award ceremony on the 5th day. So basically, the first day is basically a prelude to what is going to be happening, the opening ceremony, the introduction to everything else, and laying out what the other 5 days are going to have in store for the public. And then the following day, we're moving straight into the preliminaries. Of course, that will be the final event for that day. It's going to be a full day. When I say full day, I'm not talking about 24 hours, but we're looking at a start time of either 10 or 11 a.m. on each day, and ending roughly at about 8 p.m. So that's what we're looking at. There are going to be, of course, breaks in between. Persons can join in at any point in time when they choose to, whenever they're able to. But we're looking at full day events for a period of the 5 days. Now, in terms of looking for content, we definitely will be engaging speakers, and the goal is to engage between 25 to 30 speakers, and that number will include the finalists. When I say the finalists, I'm looking at the preliminary, the top persons who will be taking part in the preliminaries. Okay, so that number 25 to 30 is going to include those number of persons who will be pitching at the preliminaries. And in terms of that number, we're looking at 12 persons. So it's going to be a total of 12 persons pitching at the preliminaries. Okay, and of course, the speakers are also going to include the judges. So the 5 judges, the 12 speakers, so that number minus the 25 to 30, and those are the numbers we sort of have to fill in with regards to content as to who will be speakers during that 5-day summit. The theme for this year is building resilience through entrepreneurship. We can, we will. And that is the theme that we want to focus on. And during the summit, we will have, of course, subtopics in relation to that theme. This year, we want to focus on startups. There's a lot of, noise and I would say praise and all of that, and credits whenever it comes to the larger, more established companies. But the underdogs, who are the startups, most of the times they barely get a breather to even say, hi, I exist. So this year, our mandate is to highlight the startups. So what we're looking for are startups that are doing things to help build a resilient St. Lucia, especially amid what is going on in the pandemic, and especially for those persons who are looking to solve problems that are, that I would say are identifiable anywhere in the community, and of course in the world by extension. Because this is a global competition, we have to ensure that whatever it is that these persons are working on, whether it be a product or service or venture, because social enterprises are eligible as well, that it is meeting the demands, or it is solving a problem that is being experienced not just by St. Lucians, but by other parts of the world by extension. They have to meet the global standard. So quality is very, very important. So not just anybody who owns a business will basically be able to make it to the global stage. We have to show that our people are very competitive. And because of that, at the entry level, we have to ensure that the applications that we are getting is of quality and of high standard. We have had great success in meeting the finals in the past 2 years. In 2019, we had Martin Hanna with Penny Pinch. And from the time and since his participation in EWC, he has since advanced or upgraded his company to what it is right now. Last year, it was Dylan Averill with Engage and his Meditags. And that also, caught the attention of several individuals in the region. Though I don't still see anything being embraced on a local stage, which is really sad, I am hoping that with more participation in this kind of competition, it will allow the startups to know and to see that there is value in what they're putting forward. So with the stage that has been set by Penny Pinch and Engage, we have an idea as to the type of quality of applications we're looking for this year. Building a resilient St. Lucia with whatever product, service, or venture that you are working on, or that you have an idea on, because idea stage is welcome, of course. It must work to build a resilient St. Lucia. So that is the theme. That is the basic structure, because I'm not going to go into much detail right now. And in terms of what we are looking for is partners to help us execute this. Now, what partners we're looking for at this stage is co-organizers. Now, the co-organizers are to work in collaboration with us here at Slatera to help us find what we're looking for. So the co-organizers will help us to find judges, will help us to find sponsors, and will also help us to find speakers. The co-organizers will also help to connect or utilize their existing resources to ensure that persons know that the competition exists. Now, the reason I'm thinking that it is a great marriage between Slatera and Investing Lucia to have Boost on board is because we have a wonderful arrangement where the winners from the National Idea Pitch Competition, one of the incentives is that the top winners will gain fast track access to EWC St. Lucia. So that is, that I would say is a continuation to what we started last year. Things have changed a little this year, not too much, just a little, but we are now showing persons that the bond is growing. So we're not just saying we are an ecosystem partner, but we're now saying that we are more involved together and we would like this professional relationship to grow, which is why, Dinesh, I invited you here. So in terms of the role of Invest St. Lucia being co-organized, as I stated, it is to help us execute this competition, to help us source out the individuals that we need to fill the roles that we need them to fill, and to ensure that everybody in St. Lucia is aware of this competition. The marketing end of things and the communication end of things is being handled by Sharine. She is the go-to or the contact person on the Slatera end. And she will be the one directly communicating with the media when it comes to information on EWC. However, not however, sorry, if Invest in Lucia, of course, would like a more, I would say, active role in the media proceedings, Dinesh, either it could be you or another representative of Boost can accompany Sharine on that front whenever media appearances are to be done. So at least there is a sufficient representation of who the partners are. So it would be Sharine representing on behalf of Slantera, and Dinesh, it will be you or a representative of Boost representing on behalf of Invest in Lucia. But in terms of the being in the public eye, I would only be doing so when necessary, like giving an introduction to the competition and the official launch, but any communication moving on is going to go through Sharine. And that is basically it in terms of that. The timeline we're looking at, or should I say the days or the month we're looking at to host the summit is in July, the first week in July. That would be Monday to Friday. So that is the time frame we're kind of looking at, but we're still not too certain on that because we're not really sure of what's happening for that's the carnival, whether it will, go virtual, if that is something that, is in the cards for St. Lucia, but we do not want to clash with an activity already going on. That's the thing. So,
Michelle,
yes.
not to cut you short, but yes, Carnival is going virtual.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. We're just in a meeting last week.
All right. So, well, Sharine was supposed to do some recon on that to let us know for sure whether that was happening. So, Sharine, I will, of course, allow you to speak just after this last line, and then we will move on from there. So, the proposed month is July. And as I stated, it will be from a Monday to a Friday. The time frame, as I stated, will be from 11, ending anywhere from 11 to 8 between that period of time during the 5 days. The preliminaries will still be held, but it will be held on the second day, the finals on the fourth day, and the ceremony on the fifth day. In terms of the time frame for persons to apply, applications are currently open, but it will start to close off sometime in April or early May. So during this period of time, we have to get our cards, our ducks in a row. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're looking for. So I will allow Dinesh, of course, to ask any questions at this point, based on what I have already shared, and then we can then move to Sharine with the developments that she has.
Okay, thank you. I think the first question that comes to mind is right now with the idea pitch competition, we have the first, second place doing a fast track entry to the national finals, and the third and fifth place going for the preliminaries. Is that still happening, or do we change that around?
Yes, that is still happening.
Okay,
because we've actually increased the number to accommodate.
Okay. Would they have to apply through the same means?
Yes, they would have to still go through the application process because, as I stated, all applications go through EWC Global. We have no control over that. So they would still have to put the application through, so at least they're on the system. But we would know, of course, that they would be bypassing the initial stages based on our agreement, but they still have to go through the application process.
They're all on the startup level, so they're on the idea stage too. When we finish the competition, they should be at a startup level.
Okay.
Like they'll move from an idea stage to a startup level. So I think maybe we can do that towards the end of April or the beginning of April. That's okay.
Beginning of April.
When they can apply.
Okay,
because
sure.
I just want them to get some training so they can get some more idea of how to put their idea down on a business now.
No problem, because all through that time, applications will still be open.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure.
Yeah.
In terms of the expectations on Invest in Lucia, we had a meeting with the CEO last week, and what they really want is a letter that states our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a he was saying in a point form, a bullet form, in a letter, and that's what he would sign as a partnership. So there's a letter basically just similar to the one that you sent before, but a
Right.
bullet point of what Invest in Lucia, specifically Invest in Lucia. And Boost falls under Invest in Lucia, so whatever Invest in Lucia is doing, they'll pass it to Boost, but the name would be Boost in public, Invest in the background. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so we are
So
addressing
the operations is
who-
Invest, but
we're addressing it to Investing Lucia, that is the CEO.
yes.
But who exactly would be on the co-organizer name?
Me, Boost and Lucia, and Dinesh Daswani.
Because the thing is, for
That's public versus
co-organizer,
operations.
yeah, because under the co-organizer, we have to name the agency that is partnering with us. So if that is the case, it would have to be Sludterra and co-organizer Investing Lucia.
Okay, I guess I have to have a meeting to confirm what they want to do with that.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, it would have to be done that way. If there's if it's going to be directly with Boost itself, then Boost St. Lucia would be co-organizer. But because Boost falls under Invest St. Lucia, the
Yeah.
wording would have to be co-organizer, or collaborator would be, well, not collaborator, co-organizer would be Invest St. Lucia.
okay, I guess you can still adjust the letter that way, because I think most likely it would be Invest in Lucia.
Mhm.
But I'll have a meeting just to make sure with Sharine and the other team to confirm that.
Okay, not a problem. And just to let you know, Dinesh, off the bat, that we are looking to partner with more than one co-organizer this year, because I
Okay.
think the more strategic key stakeholders on board, the better for us and the better for the applicants. So we are definitely looking to partner with the SBDC as another co-organizer as well. And another, one we're looking at as well is the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce is
Yes.
another one that we're looking at. And also finally, we're looking at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. So these are the names, I should say, that we have sort of working in the midst of, who can fill those roles and help us to get the information out there to the public. So that's what we're
Yeah,
looking.
those are all our partners, and they all currently have some competitions going on. So we almost look at it as like a pre-stage of a lot of entrepreneurship ideas coming out.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know, but the chamber is doing an incubator themselves for startups.
Mhm.
They just launched yesterday. So again, you'll be getting a lot of people coming into that, and that's good to filter them into the Entrepreneurship World Cup. So the way I see it, the Entrepreneurship World Cup is the final goal.
Yeah.
For solutions to come in, and then you have smaller competitions to bring people into that.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean,
It's almost like a funnel.
yeah, I definitely agree. One other development that I forgot to mention, I really cannot forget this again, because I did the last time, I'm sorry, team, is that Jen wants to also change things a little bit this year as well when it comes to our region, because they are realizing that not many of our islands are involved in this competition, and they want to ensure that they are involved. So they are now implementing a regional leg of the competition this year. So that is a new development, and they are turning to Gen Caribbean to take the lead on that. Okay, so just so you know, Gen, like I said, that is Gen HQ, wants to implement a regional, version for the Caribbean, and they are looking to Gen Caribbean, led by Marcia Brandon, to take the lead on that. So what this means is that they are looking for all of the islands to participate, and for all of them, or for each of them, to produce a national winner, and then for all of those national winners to now compete at the regional finals. And then the winners from there will then be eligible to be selected in the EWC Top 100. So that's the new change again this year.
More opportunity and then for submissions as well.
Yes, yes. So that is the another addition that has come at the top level, and the meeting with those individuals or those key partners is supposed to happen next week. As a matter of fact, I will be making the presentation on that because they're taking the lead from me, since we successfully launched and hosted this in the past, and that meeting will take place on Monday evening. So I will be sharing with them what we did and how we went about doing it, so that they can get a better idea of how to conduct theirs. So that is the addition. That's basically it in terms of announcements, additions, and changes. Do you see that affecting anything on your end with NIPC, Dinesh?
No, the NIPC would finish about April, end of April. So that will just lead straight into the Intro World Cup and the Gen Global competition. So that should be fine.
Okay, all right, excellent. Okay.
And then we start Accelerate, which is something completely different. It does not work with the Entrepreneurship World Cup.
Okay, awesome. Do we have any questions or comments from the rest of the team based on these new developments and announcements? Any questions or comments?
One comment, Michelle, not a question, a question actually. The judges, apart from Joshua, which other two males you have?
Well, we didn't finalize on who those were as yet.
You have had no females as yet?
No, I have no. Well, it is going to be Sharine who's going to be reaching out to them. Remember, it's just informal, conversation to find out whether they would like to participate again. The only confirmation we've had so far is Joshua. He is willing to do it again this year. He is willing to be a judge as well as a speaker. But he's going to be speaking in the capacity of an inventor and somebody who has had patents done as well. And also how to basically launch a business on nothing, basically telling his story and how, basically a how-to guide, to get this done. So that's the capacity that he will be holding. We really want to get Kwesi back because he did say that he
was interested.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Sharine, that gentleman is in St. Lucia right now, Mr. Lake. He's on island. So probably we can try to reach out to him. Mr. Lake.
Well,
who's on island?
Mr. Lake, Russell Lake, he's on island
Lake,
right
which
now.
is what she's saying. Yeah, but yeah. Dinesh, I see your hand up.
Yes, so I'm just wondering, we have judges for the National Idea Pitch competition. Do we want to not repeat the same judges, or is there anything as a conflict of repeating the judges? Because it might be, I don't know, biased because they've already been through the National Idea Pitch competition. But they might have more information than another judge.
Well, that's a totally separate competition altogether. And yeah, so I wouldn't say there's much of a conflict of interest per se. What I would say is that at EWC, we're looking for judges that are, how would I say, they're well-rounded with almost every industry. And the judges, and that's something else, the judges don't all have to be local. That's another thing too. We can have overseas judges. That was something that I was told by Gen HQ. So that is why Joshua is on the team, because Joshua is not local. I mean, he is from St. Lucia, but he's not here, but he is participating. In terms of repeating judges, of course, my team is not aware of it, so I'm not going to divulge anything. There are a couple of people that have participated in judge roles in other competitions locally, and so that is why you asked that question. But no, there's no conflict of interest there. As a matter of fact, they're saying anybody we choose is fine. Basically, they give us, the due diligence to do whatever we feel is best, but in the best interest of the applicants is what we have to look at. So if we know that we have professional, credible people who have, great, work ethic, then we should be able to trust the people that we choose, right? Or else why did we choose them? So Joshua, yes. So we just need 2 more males and 2 females. So yeah, that's also where the role of Invest in Lucia would come in as to who they can suggest that we choose.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah. Sharine, I would allow you to now speak on what you have gathered so far in your research, your research and development aspect of things.
Okay. I have spoken to Connect Services to become an ecosystem partner. I think I mentioned that to you earlier, Michelle. Yeah, so they have agreed. It's just a matter of them wanting to know how exactly you're playing a role. Also, I wanted to bring on a collaborator, especially to assist me with the marketing, which is something that's really heavy. So I decided to speak to the owner of P1 Marketing Services. They're a small business, and because the owner is a little bit more seasoned than me, I just want him as a collaborator to more advise me in terms of like how to go about doing the marketing aspect. I still, because of how my schedule was this week, I still haven't reached out to DBS as yet. I finally got a number from the person in charge of the, how you call that, the advertising. So I will be doing so in the coming week. And that's about it for now. I sent out the press release. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Sharine. Yes, I did see the press release. There were a couple of media houses that I saw posted, not all of them, but I did see a couple of them posted that I do have contact with. That is something else that the co-organizers would be, assisting with, is ensuring that those press releases really get out there, and that they post or they share the post in relation to the competition on their pages. That's something else that we are looking forward to doing. But because of the nature of the competition and the fact that it's such a big deal, what I wanted to also do is to ensure that each of the co-organizers has a page dedicated to that. Yes, we want to ensure that they get as much views as possible, that persons get to see who they are, get their logos on, which is what is going to happen with all the marketing material and everything that's going to be done. And we want to get some video snippets from these co-organizers and any partners that come on board with us. We want to make sure that they are well seen, especially at the global level. And also growing their network and growing their reach is something that is of value to any company and any agency. But what I want to really, really stress on is that we are looking to empower and uplift startups this year. I am really, really, really adamant about this. Startups have been overlooked for way too long. We are amplifying, empowering, and highlighting startups this year. What are the startups doing that are helping to solve problems, that are helping to build the resiliency in Lucia? And also the persons that we're looking to work with to execute this. We're looking for persons on the ground as well. So this is why we have Sharine here, giving Sharine an opportunity to really showcase what she can do. And of course, Boost is fresh in its own right. I would consider Boost to be a startup in its own right. When you look at it, it's only recently started, even though it is underneath the umbrella of a major agency. Boost is also a startup. So this is why we are doing this. And we are looking to have as many startups as possible get their day, in the rain. And then for that sunshine to just dawn on them. That's what we're looking forward to doing this year. Mylica, do you have any contribution on the announcements that I gave, or any suggestions on any of the co-organizers that I mentioned? Any suggestions on your end?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay, not a problem. So Dinesh, we're looking at, with every meeting that we have, we meet every Friday at 10. We are looking to make strides in between each meeting. So by next week, we should have reporting to do, and we should have at least made some strides or made some steps forward in the competition, in the line of what we're going. So the very first thing that we're going to be doing is, of course, sending out those notices to persons in the wider public, asking them to be voluntary evaluation judges. That's one of the things that we'll be doing from next week. And those persons will be anonymously evaluating those applications, very unbiased, evaluating those applications in the background. So as they come in, they will be filtered through, they will review them online and then pass them through the process. Of course, there's the criteria that they have to, of course, pass, but they are going to be doing that in the background in their free time, and that's over a period of 2 weeks. But that does not start until, I believe, June. Let me just get to that. So that takes place between the period of May 27th and June 10th is when that jury will be evaluating those applications. So anytime before May 27th, the applications will be open. So all throughout that time, we're going to be encouraging persons to send in applications. Another thing that we want this year, which we didn't have this year, we want a financial sponsor or financial sponsors. We need to have that this time around, because last year we were not able to really give our winners any financial prizes, and we want that to be a little different this year. Okay, so we are looking to have a financial sponsor, at least one. We do have several levels of sponsorship, but we want to have at least one premier sponsor, and that premier sponsor has the opportunity to have the summit or their name in the summit, right? And of course, marketing promotional rights throughout the entire duration of the summit as well. So we're looking for a financial sponsor. I'm looking to potentially First National Bank. That is the only one I can really think of at this point in time. If there's any others that persons can suggest, then I'm open to suggestions. Yes, Dinesh?
I think that's perfect for Netflix National because they've been a huge champion on startups and entrepreneurship. And we've been working with them recently, so I think that's really good. The other thing I would say is we're trying to open a seed funding, something called a seed fund bank, Boost, which we give like small funds here and there for startups.
Yeah.
But we don't give them the money. They have to they apply to it, and then they have bills, and they qualify, and they have bills. They bring the bills to us, and we pay it. So they don't actually get money in hand. They get the resources they need to get their business off the ground. So maybe we can contribute something from that seed fund banking. Might not be a huge amount, but it'll be something.
Okay, that's great. I do, of course, have the slide presentation on what the sponsorship levels are and what the amounts are. So, of course, after, of course, everything is all settled down and all agreements are signed, we'll be sharing that those details and information with you. But this is where we are at. So, just to recap, it's going to be a 5-day summit this year. We're going to host it in July. Sharine, can you give some more information or details on I guess both you and Dinesh would have information on the carnival celebrations and activities and how that would affect EWC and what your recommendations are as to what time frame in July it should be held?
Oh, they don't have a set date for it yet. They just announced it. Based on the clip that I saw, it was just an announcement, and they were saying what were the economic benefits of that and whatnot. But as I follow them, I guess within the coming weeks, they probably might give a definite date. But for now, it's just the announcement, as far as I know.
Okay, because I think it was supposed to have taken place on the 5th and 6th, I believe. Or something like that.
There's no set dates from our last meeting, so just suggestions.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be as big as what we expect it to be because a lot of the bands, because I run a band, and that's why I was in that meeting. We're not anywhere close to prepared to run something in July from a band point of view. Because it takes 8 to 9 months to run costumes and everything, and prepare for July. So I don't know how that's going to work. So it's still in the early stages.
Okay. Well, that is something to keep our eyes on because again, we don't want to clash with anything happening nationally. We don't want to take away, from anything that is happening nationally. We don't want to compete, with attention for anything that is part of our culture to take away the attention from that. So that is why I'm looking at the time frame. I mean, it's going to be any of the 4 weeks in July, preferably in the first week I'm looking at. Because of course there is a time limit on the Gen HQ end as to when we can host our finals. So I'm looking at the first week in July, those 5 days, Monday to Friday. Also, the judges, as I stated, we only have one confirmed judge. We're looking for 2 males and 2 females. Also, in terms of how the pitch competitions will be held, last year we did it completely virtually when we utilized a platform that was already provided to us, so we don't have to pay for any additional platforms. They provide us with everything. However, this is also why I wanted to have you on board into this meeting, Dinesh, is something that I wanted to find out whether it's feasible. With regards to the national finals being the final competition, what I was looking at is whether we could host an in-person competition for the finals at a secure location. We don't have any audience, physical audience per se. All we have is just the contestants, the judges, and the camera persons, basically, of course, the team members and the camera persons. That's what I'm looking at a particular location. And we either broadcast the competition or we record the competition to be broadcast, let's say at a newscast, later in the evening or something like that. Something that is like recorded that can be, played at our convenience. So that is what I was wondering whether that could be possible. Dinesh, do you think that is a possibility?
It is. We partner with NTN or government GIS.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see them coming on board once we have a meeting with them in terms of all the coverage we need to do for this year. That includes Boost and ISL. So we're trying to do a longer partnership with them.
Mm-hmm.
They cover all these events live, but they would do that at the studio because it's more convenient for them. But they could also move if they have to. I think the financial center would be a good place to suggest them.
Okay. Now, in terms, of course, of a venue, because of the number of persons that are allowed in a room, we're looking at a large venue that can accommodate everyone. So I'm not sure whether the studio is the best fit for that, though.
That would be the financial center.
The financial center. Okay.
And GIS knows how to operate there.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, that is what the other suggestion that I had was, instead of doing the national finals, which is the final pitch competition virtual, we could do it live and possibly have it streamed for persons to see, tune in and watch it, as it happens, so that, they can vote for their favorites, because of course we'll be having, in addition to the top 3 winners, we will be having the People's Choice champion. So persons will get to vote for their champion. So definitely would want public involvement in that. So that is why I wanted to know whether it was possible to do a live. The preliminaries will be done virtually, but the finals we're looking to have it done live. Do we have any questions or comments from anybody else on anything before we end?
No, Michelle.
Oh, one small thing. Lisa, did you send me Mr. Lake's number?
I sent you his email address.
I would, it would be better for me to speak to him over the phone as, so can you send me his number, please, if you have access to it?
The number I have, it has changed. And I did ask him, but he said he preferred to, he's on Facebook for sure. So I don't know if I can reach him on Facebook and let him know.
Okay, I will send him a message.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, so in terms of next steps, as I stated, is drafting out that official invitation letter for Invest Initiative to come on board as a co-organizer, Dinesh. That will be done and it will be sent out by Sharine. Also, we are looking to draft out letters to the other potential co-organizers to ask them whether they would like to, join us, and then finally, of course, the jury members to basically to put that notice out there, not really like a job application per se, but just to volunteer their time to participate in the the process of EWC and selecting the applications and getting that financial, the financial sponsors. That's really important. The other partner positions that we have open are being filled as time goes by. In terms of the country coordinator, that position will be filled by someone in the marketing space. We have someone who we're looking at, for that position. That person will be overseeing the marketing and communications coordinator as well as the collaborator. So that person will be heading that team, and they will be the one in charge of the marketing campaign. Martin and Gillen have already agreed to participate in that marketing campaign, and we want that to be televised. It's going to be a video, maybe 30 to 60 second long, depending, and basically just encouraging persons to apply to EWC. So that is where we really need the media partners on board to really spread the word about this application. So, I mean, it's all well and good to have the video created and the promotion to the promo to be formulated, but we need to have it televised. Also on the radio as well. So in print, social media, and televised radio, we need to have that information getting out there so that we have a good number of quality applications coming through from our local people. Okay, so we've come to the end of this meeting. Dinesh, you should hear from Sharine during the course of the coming week, and we can take it from there once everything is all signed and dotted.
Great. I'll just let you know, we usually have our weekly meeting on Thursday. So if you can get that letter to me by Thursday next week, I usually get him to sign those letters right in front of me. So that'll be great.
Okay, Sharine, does that time frame work for you?
Yes, it does. I will work on it as soon as possible.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so if there are no more questions or comments, this is basically the end of it. So we shall see each other. Well, my team, we shall see each other next week, Friday. Dinesh, of course, if the agreement is signed before then, we shall see you again on Friday, so we can talk about further developments and our next steps from that point.
Okay.
Okay, great. So thank you everybody for attending this morning's meeting. Thank you, Mylica. Thank you, Sharine. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Dinesh. Have a great day. Again, I'll be sending that recording via the YouTube and listed links so that you can review at your convenience. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Okay, then bye-bye.